punishment comes. Let's look forward here to the Blast Global Finals. Now, this one here, like I said, I saw you tweeting to your ex teammates after their games and stuff. So were you paying close attention to the Liquid matches?
Yeah, I watch all the Liquid matches.
Nice.
I mean, I almost watch every match, but I specifically pay attention to the Liquid ones.
So what did you make of FalleN's first look in the lineup?
Like I tweeted, it seemed great.
Yeah.
I love seeing a fresh like primary opper. I love seeing him have the T side op every chance that he could on Nuke specifically. It was just people, especially like I mentioned in the online era, it's so important to have this constant like threat, this constant presence of an opper where like they're closing off angles and the other team knows it's not safe to peek, you know? And that's exactly what he's doing for him. It seems like he's brought like a fresh like positivity into the team. When you looked at the camps, he was one of the only people I didn't see like triggered or tilted. You saw after the matches, even though he lost, he went and like shook everyone's hands, you know, tried to bring the team back up, and that was definitely something that wasn't in the team before.
Okay, so I think me, Prof, and Striker might have not some splaining to do, but on a previous episode when this was all rumored, the three of us were quite negative about this change, Russell. And the reason that we were negative was because we didn't know whether or not FalleN had it in him, right? We thought FalleN had dropped off in MIBR. We thought he had too many other big priorities in his life, like the companies he's got and stuff, and all of that going on to have the focus where it needs to be. Now, the proof is obviously in the pudding, right, Striker? They played pretty well for a team that had limited practice with a new player, a new system, obviously, with having a primary AWPer come in. Do you think this honeymoon phase, or do you think he clearly has that hunger that we were thinking wasn't there?
I definitely thought from like, obviously, like this is some of the highlights that we saw, like the, you know, like the ace on Inferno, like that where he got mega lucky, like a part of it. But he had like a lot of pretty good highlights that made me think, okay, this looks a little bit more like the old Fawn that we know. Obviously, like he didn't do this on a consistent basis. He wasn't like a mega star in that team or anything like that. But he definitely had moments where I thought that, okay, this is like a hungry Fawn that could actually be a star again, you know? So I'm still cautious about it just to see if this actually continues or if this is just like a honeymoon period type thing that we saw with a lot of teams. But I'm definitely positively I'm not surprised. I was on the edge already. I was kind of like on the fence about this for a long time. I could see the upside for sure, just because of the roles, you know, fitting in a lot better than before with the in-game leader and Alper coming in. And so yeah, this is just making me feel like go over to the edge that this is probably going to go well for them, at least in the long run.
I would like to say that Liquid's seen success with every Brazilian player they've ever had.
Oh,
so there's never been a failed Brazilian teammate in Liquid, and like sadly, like goes back to like the 2018 like Steel situation, I think, where he left earlier in the year, purely because he felt like he wasn't up to par with the rest of his teammates, which was sad considering we just won summits. But yeah, that team always saw success with, you know, Taco, Zeus's coach, and now they're going to see with FalleN probably.
All right, that's actually a pretty cool way of looking at it, because we spoke about like Zeus in there and stuff. We mentioned those in the last show, but I think like Prof, you recall what we were saying. Are you ready to jump ship after one performance?
No way.
Okay,
not even close. Like
all right.
I'm staying on the not the best solution for Liquid both. Like,
all right.
Like we didn't say that was the worst thing ever. Just kind of underwhelming for Liquid, bringing in FalleN. Additionally, I think we can even double down on that, seeing that Stewie is still calling in the team. So they didn't really do the two birds with one stone. They only got an AWPer, so maybe they could have gotten a different AWPer. Obviously, they played better. They played pretty good overall. But when you look at FalleN individually, it wasn't super great. It was like the second worst rated player on the team as the AWPer, right?
Okay. Yeah.
If you look at his KD is -1 for the tournament. So that isn't super exciting for me. So I'll stay where I am. We'll see. Maybe they change my mind.
That's a fair one.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you're not. I mean, I feel like people aren't realizing the fact that I think he is actually mid-round calling quite often, and
I would imagine he has input for sure.
Yeah,
there's no way he doesn't.
As an AWPer, you're always gonna have input, and with his amount of experience he has to be just saying whatever comes to his mind. You know, what gaps. He's not gonna just stay quiet. So I feel like he's utilizing every aspect. But maybe Stewie's coming up with the game plan in the initial part of the round, and FalleN takes over. Once the first like 20 seconds has calmed down.
I wanna jump ship. I want to jump ship.
Okay.
I want to be a turncoat on the shit I said last week, because what I said last week was if FalleN was calling, I don't think things are going to be good. I'm glad that Stewie's still calling, right? Because I think that at least that means that we're going to get newer ideas. That means if FalleN gets to call within the mid round of those new ideas, great. I think the point that Russell made about him, bringing up the morale and all that kind of stuff, if he must be a fantastic teammate, right? Because he's done this for a long time. He's also now, he is the elder statesman of the team in the sense that he is quite significantly older than all of his teammates, right? He brings quite a big chunk from that angle, and if he can keep a positive vibe and do that stuff that's missing, because even we saw Lige losing his cool, and we don't normally see Lige lose his cool in that way when they were playing in those matches, right? Stewie, yeah, we know he's fucking arms up, whatever. He's an emotional player, yep. Grim, you can see him getting a bit frustrated. Naf, I don't even know if he ever. I don't know what's going on.
No, he doesn't change.
Okay, but having FalleN there doing the fist bumps, he making some impactful plays and stuff, and just having that guy there, if he is focused, right, which I still don't know. I have to leave the jury out on that because we have to wait and see how that transpires. But so far, good signs. And I know that Prof, you said he had, what was it, -1 KD overall?
Yeah.
Okay, the teams that they were playing against before he joined Liquid, these were the last 3 teams that FalleN played against before he played with Liquid. Was Copenhagen Flames, Apex, and Gambit Youngsters. Obviously Gambit now, and they're quite good. But those were the 3 teams back in
he played with them,
was it September? Yeah, that was the level of Counter-Strike he was playing at before. He's had since then off, and he's come in. He's played against Na'Vi. He's played against Vitality. He's played against EG, and then Na'Vi again in this new team. So I'm gonna jump ship because I thought it was a terrible move, basically. And I thought, why didn't they just get fucking some young AWPer and just make it work? But maybe this is what they needed, because before it was almost like floundering, right? Yeah, Nitro, I guess I'll fucking England lead. Yeah, no one else can. I guess I'll fucking AWP. Like it was that's kind of how Liquid felt to me. Like it was like, well, look, we'll plug the gaps with what we have. Now it's like, okay, well, we want this AWPer, we'll get this AWPer, right? And if he can contribute and make Stewie a better in-game leader, that is only going to be a good thing. So obviously I'm a bit of a turncoat here, but I was impressed with Liquid. To be fair, I thought they looked well organized in terms of their executes, right? That obviously Nuke, for example, against Na'Vi on that first map, those top executes were great for them. I think that there was just some moments where they were losing a lot of number advantage situations that they probably shouldn't have, and some silly rounds here and there. But all in all, it was a much better showing from Liquid than I had anticipated, right? They came 4th overall at the event. So with a win over Na'Vi and a win over domestic rivals EG, who were also looking pretty decent. So all in all, I think it's better than I was originally anticipating. So that's why I'm changing my stance.
I mean, if anything, like his stats aren't even actually bad for facing 2 top 3 teams in the world, by the way. Like these stats are definitely good for facing like literally the best of the best. And against EG, he was actually he had like a good stats. And it was just like a bad map against what was it, the first one or the second match against Na'Vi that they lost. Well, the first map where he actually didn't play particularly well. So like the rest has been okay from him. So I feel like let's see how he does like the next event. If this is just like if he actually does play better or if he does play well, then I guess we'll have to see.
I mean, I watched every match, and from what I saw, like he had very, very few misses. Like I might saw him like miss like 4 or 5 times when he had the op. So he had a lot of crucial rounds, a lot of crucial rotations, and yeah, I feel like the impact was a lot more than what people are seeing.
There's one question I wouldn't mind asking you here, Russell, is obviously Moses coming in as a coach from being a caster position. What were like your expectations of what he was going to bring? But you kind of alluded to it before. You were saying it was more to do with personalities for him. Is that still kind of what it was when you left the team? Was he still mainly just focused on that, or was it I don't know, helping you guys work on communication or focusing on like getting back to the basics, or did he have any niches that he was trying to target as a coach?
I think all of the above, to be honest. Yeah, I think Liquid's like next priority should we get a psychologist on board, work with everyone, and who knows, maybe they already got that, but that's what we lost earlier in the year, to be honest. So we didn't have our psychologist working closely. But yeah, I think if a psychologist and Jason gets to work with the team closely, then I think they're going to see a lot of success. I mean, I think FalleN's a tremendous like pickup, to be honest. Like, I know he replaced me, but I had the option to stay there. I chose the left, so.
Okay.
But I think he's a great person.
Okay, so another one here, just one other staff member I know you guys have there. I don't know how much you got to work with this guy, but is it HEPA? HEPA? Is that the analyst for you guys?
Yeah, the analyst.
So I don't want you to give me the guy's homework, for example, but we hear about these analysts in these teams, and we never really get to dig too deeply into what kind of stuff is he offering up. Is he there in practice with you guys, or is he just giving stuff to Jason or the in-game leader? Like, how does that whole dynamic work?
He does a lot. He was the analyst for movie star writers,
Okay.
and I feel like he was one of the reasons that they saw a lot of success, that team. The things that he does, he like goes and finds nades, like the most updated nade sets for whatever spot. If there's a jump through instead of a walk through, he'll find it. He'll find one-way mollies. He's shown some of those crazy one-way smokes that like all of us just look at and we're like, how the fuck did he do it? Like how much time did he spend finding this? But yeah, he does a lot of research, and his notes are really useful.
Okay, cool. Because for us, like when we're talking about this stuff, when we're on this side, we don't know what's going on with like the analysts and the coaches and everything like that. So it's always nice to at least hear a little bit. So let's kind of keep moving this one forward with the Blast Global Finals, because we covered off Liquid.
Well, just one more detail about this. I feel like actually I don't really know if this is like the byproduct of the FalleN edition, but Nav definitely looked way more unlocked than before, when he was kind of like locked in, half hopping, half not. So I've definitely, this was like one of the best events that I've seen from him in a long time. So I'm hoping this is a byproduct and we're gonna get to see more of Nav, because I feel like last year he was obviously still good, but he wasn't the Nav from 2019, that we saw just to wreck everybody almost every event. So I'm hoping that's gonna come back.
He was pretty tired of opping.
Oh yeah,
especially from some of our results. He was upset that he couldn't do more with the rifle. He was playing Arch on Inferno, and a lot of times he felt like he didn't even want to op. He wasn't comfortable opping. He wanted the rifle, and it's sad like he got forced into this position. I mean, I don't want to say too much, but I also wanted the op for a little bit. I wanted to be like the primary opper, just to fill that role, just so like people like know that there's a person that's dedicated and solely learning this role. And it sadly got shut down, but I think Nav did a great time. He did pretty good, like opping. He held his own against most oppers.
That's the thing, right? You guys were in limbo for such a long period of time without like a primary AWPer. Must have and having that against some of these top tier teams must have been frustrating as fuck. But I think for me, and I don't know if what you've actually, perfect man to ask, Alige was a little bit quieter, right? Like, do you think that's an adjustment for a player like him with now having to play with a primary AWPer? Do you think that would have made his life a little bit more difficult for Alige? Did he have to change many spots? Was there anything that you noticed, Russell, firsthand when watching?
The only thing I can notice was he kind of took up some of my lurking spots.
Okay.
So specifically what I saw at T-Side Inferno, he's the one kind of like, controlling rotates. He might be flanking CT spawn or catch them coming back to save. On Nuke, he was a bit more passive outside, I guess. He didn't try to go for some of the plays that I would usually see him do. So maybe FalleN's like, I mean, I don't know how the team's working now, but maybe there's some sort of leash. Even when like the team would hit like ramp, he would be back like holding lobby and stuff. So I think his role's definitely changed, and he's becoming more passive, which I'm not necessarily a fan of. I think Alige is a great aggressive player, and from my time on the team, I always learn like the most from him, and I feel like he should still be in like a star role.
Oh, for sure. The guy's a fucking monster. So hopefully they can figure that out and put him where he needs to be. Let's move into this Navi